The last thing we are going to do today is to talk about spelling when we are adding ing to a word. Before we can talk about that, we need to make sure that we know all the letters in the alphabet and which ones are vowels and which ones are consonants. So let's begin by just saying the alphabet together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Do you remember which of these letters are vowels? I am going to use red to show the vowels. We have A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. A very simple word in English will begin with a consonant, have a vowel in the middle, and end with a consonant. We call this type of word a CVC word because it begins with a consonant, and consonant begins with a C. It ends with a consonant, consonant begins with a C, and there's a vowel in the middle, and vowel begins with a V. When we are adding ing to a verb that is a consonant, vowel, consonant word, we are going to take this consonant and we are going to add another one. We call that doubling. We say we double the final consonant. Final means the last one at the end of the word. Double means times 2. So for example, we could have the word run. U is a vowel and N is a consonant. So we are going to double the final N and then add ing. Let's look at another example. We could have swim. This is a vowel, this is a consonant. We want to add ing. So we will double the final M and then add ing. Our question is, how do we know whether or not we need to double this final consonant? So there is a trick to this, a rule we can follow. First, I am going to teach it to you for a word that has one syllable. If this right here is one syllable, and then I will teach it to you if there are more than one syllable. It is very simple. If in our vowel box it is just one letter, that means no digraphs, and if in our last consonant box it is just one letter, no digraphs, no blends, then we will double the final consonant. That's it. So let's try it out. Let's try the word read. So first let's look at our vowel box. Is it just one letter? No, because EA is a digraph. So we're not going to double the final consonant. We are just going to say that the word read is reading, R-E-A-D-I-N-G. Let's try another word. Let's try the word wish. Let's look in our vowel box. It's just one letter, check, Let's look at our last consonant box. This is a digraph. SH is a digraph. A digraph. A digraph is when two or more letters make one sound. So we only want one letter here, so that does not work. So we will not double the final consonant. We will just add ing, wishing. Wishing. Okay, let's try another word. Let's try the word stand. Okay, first let's look at our vowel. That's just one letter, check. Now let's look at our last consonant box. That is a blend. A blend is when two consonants make two sounds. We only want one letter, not two, so that does not work. So we will not double the final D. We will just add ing, standing. Let's try another word. I am going to try the word eat. Eat is spelled like this. We need to make sure that we do not write it like this because the E is not a consonant. The EA is a consonant digraph, so we don't want to put the E there. We want to put both the EA in here because that is a digraph. So now when we look at this, we can say, oop, that's a digraph, so that means we are not going to double the final T. We will just say eating, E-A-T-I-N-G. Okay, let's try another word. Let's try the word play. Okay, well, let's think about this for a minute. In the word play, we have a blend at the beginning. I want you to notice when we make a decision about adding ing, let me put this over here. When we make a decision about that, we don't care about the beginning consonant. We never look at that. We're looking at the vowel and then the last consonant in the word right before we add ing. So when we look at play, there's a blend at the beginning, so I'll go ahead and write that in here. Then we have to look at the AY. Do you think I should put the A here and the Y here? No, we do not want to do that. Why don't we want to do that? Because in the word play, the AY is a digraph. AY is a digraph that makes, remember digraph is when two letters make one sound. And AY says A. It's the two-letter A that may be used at the end of English words. So that is the vowel sound in the word, and we are going to write it right here. So in the word play, there is no consonant sound at the end. And so this has a digraph. Well, the digraph doesn't work. Not having a consonant here, there's no consonant to double. So with play, we are just going to add ing. So we will just bring this over and have playing. It will look like this. Play, and then we add ing, playing. So you can see there are not very many times when we double that final consonant. Let's look at some examples where we do that. Let's try the word hop. Hop. So let's check. We only have one vowel, check. We only have one letter in the last consonant box, check. And so we are going to double the final P before we add ing. Let's look at the word swim one more time. there is only one vowel here, and there is only one consonant here. But here's my question for you. Does this matter that there is a blend at the beginning? Does that mean that we will not double this final M? The answer is no. It does not mean that. We do not care about what is at the beginning of the word. We don't care about what is at the beginning. We're only looking at the vowel box and the consonant at the end. Let's try the word fly. We can fly in the sky in an airplane. A bird can fly. Do you think we put the letters like this? No, we don't. We need to think about our sounds. So at the beginning of this word, we have a blend, fl. And then in this word, our vowel sound is the Y. Y at the end of a one-syllable word says I, so this says fly. We need to put our consonant blend in here and our vowel in here. So we can put fl, I, fly. Well, guess what? There's nothing in this box right here. There's nothing to double. So all we will do is add ing. So we will just add ing, flying. So these are some examples with one-syllable words. Let's look at a word that has more than one syllable. We are going to look at these two words, open and begin. We want to decide if with the word open, we are going to double that final N and then add the ing, or if we are not going to double the final N and then add the ing. And with beginning, the same thing. We are going to decide, do we need to add another N, double the N, and then add ing, or do we not need to do that? To answer this question, we need to divide the word into syllables. So in a syllable, there can only be one vowel sound. In every syllable, there needs to be a vowel sound. That's the only thing that needs to be in a syllable. You can have a syllable with just one letter if it is a vowel. To make our decision about whether or not we're going to double the final consonant, add another one, and then add our ing. If the word has more than one syllable, we still only care about this syllable. If this syllable, we look at the vowel and it needs to be just one letter. We look at the last consonant and it needs to be just one letter. So that means in here, there can be no digraphs. And in here, there can be no digraphs and no blends. If you see a digraph here, or a digraph here, or a blend here, then we are not going to double this letter. And there will be no doubling, and we will just add ing. But when there's more than one syllable, we only have to ask one more question. And that question has to do with the word stressing or accenting. Those mean the same thing. Well, that's kind of a hard word. What does that mean? That has to do with when we're talking, right? When we are talking, we do not talk like this. This is how a robot would talk. Instead, our voice goes up and down. And when we say a word, one part of the word we will say stronger than another part of the word. So for example, in the word begin, let's take that word. Do we say begin or begin or begin? Well, we say begin. So the second syllable is the one we are stressing or accenting. And I'm going to put an accent over that second part of the word. Begin. All right, let me get rid of some of this on the page. Okay, so for us to double the final consonant before we add ing, if the word has more than one syllable, we still follow the same thing we do with one syllable words, where we check on this and on this. Okay, no digraphs here, no digraphs or blends here. But then when we say the word, we need to be making the accent or the stress on this syllable, this last syllable of the word, like begin. If we are, then yes, we will double the final consonant and then add ing. But if we are not accenting or stressing, where's my eraser? This last syllable, if we are doing it over here at the beginning or on a different syllable of the word, then we are not going to double the final consonant. We will just add ing. So we're going to do our examples with open and begin to see what that looks like. For the word begin, we can see that we have a vowel here and we have a vowel here. That means there are two syllables in this word because each syllable can only have one vowel sound in it. In fact, the only rule about a syllable is that it has to have a vowel sound in it. You can have a syllable with only one letter if it is a vowel. Remember that a vowel sound can be made by a digraph, which is more than one letter, but it still makes just one sound. So we can decide whether or not we need to divide the syllables here, or do we divide the syllables here? So to decide this, we need to remember, let me get my G back here. Okay. We need to remember what we've learned about open and closed syllables. We know that this E is making the long sound E, B. In order for that E to make the long sound, this needs to be an open syllable. Right here. This needs to be an open syllable so that the E is the last sound in the syllable. We'll just cover this up for a minute. Okay? If the E is the last letter in the syllable, so that our syllable looks like that right here, and the E is the last letter, it's like the vowel can say, I'm free, I can run away. It's like an open door. That's an open syllable. And then the vowel will make the long sound. So now we know that we're going to make our syllable right after the E. Okay, now that we know where to divide our syllables, we're going to cover up this first one because this last one is the one we really care about. So we need to check on the vowel in this word and syllable and in the final consonant in this one. Okay, so we look at the vowel and there's only one letter in there, no digraph, check. We look at the final consonant and there is only one letter in there, check. Okay, no blend, no digraph. So far so good. It's looking like we're going to double that final N, but there's one more thing we need to check if this is a more than one syllable word, and this word has two syllables. Now we're going to look at the whole word and we're going to say, when we say this word, where do we accent the syllable? Which syllable do we say stronger? Do we say begin, or do we say begin? and it is the last one. We say begin. So if we are accenting this last syllable, then, okay, we've checked everything off. We've checked off this. We've checked off this is just one letter. This is just one letter. We accent this last syllable. And so now this is the only time when we are going to double that final consonant and then add ing. So we double this final consonant and then we add our ing, and there's the word beginning. Now we are going to try it with the word open. So we look at this word, and first we think about where are our syllables. Okay, so we find our O and our E. Here's our vowels. We have one here, and we have one here. So those are our two syllables. We have to decide, do we divide the syllables here, or do we divide the syllable here? So we need to think about that first vowel. What sound is it making? Does this say open or open? It says open. So our vowel is the long O, which means it needs to be an open syllable, which is kind of funny because our word is open. To be an open syllable, it needs to be the last letter in the syllable, okay, like this. So we are going to say, oops, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. We need to say that our first syllable is just O, just one letter, but that's okay. But now we need to look at the last syllable. So we're going to cover this one up for a minute. And we're going to look at our last syllable. And we need to look at the vowel, and we need to look at the final box. Okay, so we check those out, and we say, all right, just one letter, check. Just one letter, check. So far, so good. Should we double the N and then add ing? Well, wait a minute. This word has more than one syllable, so there's one more thing we need to check. We need to say the word and think about which syllable do we accent or stress or say stronger. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so let's say the words. Do we say open or do we say open? If we say open, we will do this, open, or we would say open. Well, we do not say open, we say open. So we are accenting the first syllable, open. Well, guess what? That means that we are not going to double the final N, because we only double the final N if we have one letter in the vowel box here, one letter here, but we accent the final syllable, and we are not doing that. We are accenting the O, open. So when we write this word, we are not going to double the final N. Let's see what it will look like. We just add ing, opening. The last spelling rule that I'm going to show you is with the word come and have. So in this word, and in this word, we have a final silent E. You can see this E is silent. When there is a final silent E at the end of the word, all we need to do is erase the E and add ing. So this word would become coming, and this would become having. So what it would look like is this. C-O-M, we erase the E and add ing, and with having, We erase the E and we add ing. And that's the end. Great job today.